Good evening, everybody, and welcome to SCFC Fans React. And tonight we bring you another episode of Fans React Friday with, yes, me, Sean Middleton. We also have Alyssa Rowell, the very well-spoken Alyssa Rowell. How are you doing, Alyssa?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. What a few Red Bulls, so I'm a bit hyper. Never mind. And we also have on the show tonight a new guy who is now officially a part of the team at SCFC Fans React. It's Christian Foster. How are you doing, Christian?
Doing spot on. I'm really happy to be part of the team. It's been really fun few weeks, a few home games and that, giving me views and stuff. So I'm glad to be sort of coming on a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds it. Well, you will be getting on the live streams now, and you obviously helped me out as well. With the camera stuff, and you taught us on the pre-match shows. So it's much appreciated. Anyway, if you're watching, if there's many people watching, please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost a penny. We've also, if you want to ask a question in the live chat, please, fire away and ask them. I'll try and ask any questions if I can. We have got Gary who's coming on. He's run a little bit late, so I will get Gary in when he comes in. We've also got the super chat as well. So if you want to donate to the channel, you don't have to, but if you want to, any money's a bonus. But like I say, that's entirely up to you. And I think I'm going to try and interact with the live chat people because it's them what keeps this going, and I really appreciate everybody what does that. 2 seconds, I'll just go to the top, and straight away we have Clayton Edwards says hi lads, Acacia, Cam and Jude says good evening everybody. Trisha, hi Sean and the guests. Joanne Punchin, hi guys. Clayton Edwards says he's off his nut on the Red Bull. Yeah, well, I'm all right. Morgan Greer, my cameraman. Morgan Pickford, I call him, because he's a good goalkeeper as well. Jim Watt, hey you, give this video a thumbs up. Yep, exactly. Give it a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. And if you wouldn't mind as well, please share it on your social media platforms. I don't know if Matthew or Paul have done that because they're in control of the Twitter thing, but if you could just share that on there, please. Steve Fleming says hi Sean and guests, hope you're all well. Yep, we are ready to go. Like see me, Alyssa, and Christian. We're waiting for Gary, but we are going to have to start without him, unfortunately. Anyway, the first topic I'm going to come to Tuesday night. We've done a pre-match. I loved the pre-match show. I don't know if you watched it. I know Christian was a part of that show that night. It was great. I really enjoyed our first, obviously, night game at the stadium night with Matthew, and there was we had a few different guests on as well, which was great. I says 3-0. I think Christian, what did you say? What was your score prediction again? Just quickly.
I said 3-0. I said a Ross Stewart hat trick, and I was totally too negative, clearly, because look what happened.
All right, and obviously, Alyssa, we didn't get Alyssa on, but what was your score prediction, Alyssa, before the game?
I don't actually know if I made one. I usually go for a 3-1, so I would have imagined it would have been.
Anyway,
it would have been that.
I think we're all happy. I mean, I'll come to you, Alyssa. I'll get your views on the game first. Sunderland 5, Cheltenham 0. Some great standing performance. And before I come to you, Alyssa, I'm going to bring Gary in. He's running late, but he's here. Better late.
Very welcome, Gary.
Later than never. Sorry, guys.
Gary, all right? Did you sleep in, pal?
I can't blame that. I've been dropping my son off at football. You've got to think about the next generation of footballers. So.
You have. But look, it's always a pleasure, Gary. I love your input in the. You speak really well, as was Alyssa and Christian. It's a good little team tonight. So anyway, Gary, as I was just saying just there, I'm going to firstly come to Alyssa. Sunderland 5, Cheltenham 0. Where do I start, Alyssa? Great performance. 5 goals, kept a clean sheet, very comfortable, no nail-biting stuff. Loads of standard performance. But what was your views of the game on Tuesday night, Alyssa?
I mean, what a performance! Obviously, we all wanted a win, and I mean, we definitely got that and a clean sheet. We were really needing a clean sheet. we hadn't had one in a while, so it was nice to get that. I thought Hoffman was absolutely excellent. Maybe didn't have a lot to do, but seems very vocal in the box, and I feel like that's maybe something we've been lacking. But again, if you look at it, it wasn't even, arguably, it wasn't our strongest team, and we still did a really good job. I mean, it was nice to see some of the players that we maybe don't get to see as often. So like as your Huggins and your Broadhead, who were both, can I just say, absolutely excellent. Broadhead in particular, hopefully he's not out for too long, because I think he could be a real asset in the first team squad. But Huggins as well, you can see why he plays for Wales at like international youth level. Some of the passes he was making and just getting forward, he was absolutely incredible. Like he's so small. Like I always see he looks like a child on the pitch. Like, but you can notice his presence from a mile away. He's just absolutely excellent, and just another win to lift the spirits and in the books. And hopefully, we go out with all guns blazing at Portsmouth tomorrow.
Yeah, cheers for that, Alyssa. Gary, hopefully you've seen the game on Tuesday night. Obviously, I was there with obviously a few of the lads, and it was a great performance. People can see it. Cheltenham weren't they weren't great, but look at it's to win 5-0. And be so at ease as well, and we took the foot off the gas as well, I believe, in the second half. I think once we scored the fifth one, I think that was good management by Lee Johnson. But what was your maintenance of the game, Gary, on Tuesday night?
Well, I didn't go, even though I've got season card, just because of the travelling from Yorkshire, and I was gutted I missed it. But it looked a great performance. I've seen the highlights and a fair bit of the game. You'll know from watching fans react, Paul will give me stick for being negative. I'm not going to be negative, but there are some times when, because I've been supporting the lads for so long, I don't like to get too hyped up. I almost feel as though I need to sort of like bring some balance in. Me 16-year-old son, is loving it. He feels the momentum building up that we've got at the moment. I just have to remind him it's a long season. We haven't played that many away games. And all I'll say about Tuesday is it was great. People have compared it back to when Peter Reid's teams used to sometimes absolutely dominate their opponents and put them to the sword. And you'd see the stats at the end, and there's like 28 efforts on goal and that kind of thing. And it really did feel like that. Yeah. And I just want to balance it with the fact that they are still a young team. There is a long way to go yet. Clearly, the home form is superb. Look, me inner child is saying, fantastic. I loved watching Broadhead. I loved all the goals. Oh, sorry. My son was watching one of the goals with his mate, who's not a Sunderland fan, and even he, commented, it's like watching Brazil. I think it was the one where Broadhead did the step over. I loved watching it. But at the same time, I kind of want to say, well, it's still only 3 points. Cheltenham were pretty awful. We scored an early goal, which obviously helped. Look, if we do that regularly to teams, or do it a few times this season to teams, it probably means we're building up a bit of a head of steam and we're getting confidence. So, hey, long may it continue. But one of the big things about it, and Alyssa's just touched on it, is it then takes us into tomorrow's game, hopefully, with our tails up and ready, because we know Portsmouth's always going to be a tough one. It's got a bit of needle, bit of aggro, but if they can go in full of confidence, then bring it on.
Yeah, like you say, you made some good points there, Gary. It was a good win, but you've got to look at it and say, well, it's just early days, and Cheltenham weren't great, but it's just see what happens. But it's good that you've the way you said that, the way you've keep calm and not getting too
negative.
No, that's what it's all about. It's your opinion. We've got to. I respect that, and you're totally right. To be fair, I'll just quickly go back to the live chat and try and make some more comments out if I can. Lauren Kenny says hi from me and my niece. Joanne says DP wanted the quiz he made on his own, and we're going to do a quiz tonight, but unfortunately we couldn't get it done in time. And Joanne's husband Dave was going to do one, Apologies, Dave. I'm not sure how to do it. I think Matthew and Paul's going to have to show us how to go on with that in the future. If you do one, I'll pull it up, mate. But cheers anyway for that. Steve Lawrence says, last couple of seasons, Cheltenham would have taken points from us. This result has been coming. We could have been 7 or 8. Good point. He just says Cheltenham went to the races. David McMahon says, Sunderland supporters, Gateshead branch. Yeah, I've seen that on Twitter as well. He's just set, I think he's just set that page up. Love watching the content. He says, easily the best out there. Keep the canny work, lads and lasses, onwards and upwards. So thanks for that comment. And like you see, go and follow them on Twitter if you wouldn't mind. Christian, come to you, mate. Sunderland 5, Cheltenham 0. You know, loads of standing performers. You were there, obviously, that night as well as you were on the pre-match show. Do you think we're top of the table? But we're all happy. Is it just happy days, or do you think no? Let's be like Gabby said. Let's just calm down a little bit.
I totally understand Gary's point, to be fair, because I think, was it last season, like at the start of the season, I think we did really well as well, and then we started to taper off towards the end, didn't we? It was that towards the end of that season, it was like quite tough, and we sort of went on that sort of downward spiral. But in terms of this season, I think top 2 is definitely on. I think, like I said, Lee Johnson's now got his side. Like, this is his side now, whereas before he inherited was a Parkinson's side.
Yeah.
So there was that, and I think since we've had this new setup with the likes of Speakman and what's his face,
KLD.
KLD,
yeah.
and they've brought in this director of football type guy for the head of recruitment and stuff. I think the whole thing's went according to plan.
Yeah.
And we've got some hellish players. The other night, to be honest, Embleton was one of my star performers. He was really good.
Who's that?
Embleton.
Yeah.
Elliot Embleton.
Yeah. On Tuesday.
It was Tuesday, wasn't it?
No, he wasn't playing Tuesday.
Oh, was that the one before that?
That's Saturday. He played Saturday, but he played Saturday because I think he made 5 changes, didn't he, on Tuesday?
He did, man. Aye. But it was unreal to see what's his face, Corey Evans playing, set up 09 for the goal, was it?
Yeah.
And
2 played
aye, and then you had obviously Ross Stewart scored a couple of brilliant goals and all. Overall, everything's gone really well. I love Ross Stewart. He's not called Loch Ness Drogba for any reason, is he? So you've got that. So
Loch Ness Lewandowski. Was this the Loch Ness Lewandowski or something on Sky?
That's was it Keith Downey? Keith Downey said that, didn't he? And then he said everyone corrected him or something on Twitter or something like that. So man, it's Loch Ness Drogba.
Well, apologies, Christian got a little bit. Everyone wasn't playing on Tuesday night. I think he's all getting a bit excited. It's
just like, see, every awesome performance blends into one, so you just sort of get on. But
I think, like you see, 5 changes as well. Lee Johnson made 5 changes. I think he's just looking at the fixtures, what's coming up, and he's got faith in the strength and depth in the squad this season. So it's
like, see, we've got squad depth like we've never had before, and we've got a team which can actually really attack players. Like it's not just about like defending for like 80 odd minutes and trying to knit a goal like we had under like other managers. Like he's gone full on like players bombing down the wings and pinging the ball about, whereas we didn't have that type of football before. And that's what I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about under Lee Johnson because he can bring out the attacking quality.
Gary, you want to be in there, mate?
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say exactly the same thing, Christian, is that since he came in, I know we messed around a little bit with the 4-2-2-2, but generally he wants to play in this certain way, doesn't he? 4 at the back, 2 defensive midfielders, 3 behind the striker. And he's persisted with that, and he's tried different people in different places. But it feels now he's got a squad, a group of players who will fit into his system. So rather than him having to fit players into the system, players he inherited from Parkinson, he's now got lads he trusts and no doubt is working on in training. I was a bit worried about the changes the other night. To see O'Brien coming from nowhere. Couldn't quite work out how he was going to play, whether he was going to set things up differently. but actually it worked an absolute treat. Evans
Yeah.
looked superb coming back in. Every other conversation I want to talk about Broadhead, because I think the lad was outstanding. And actually, somebody like O'Brien, who I've slagged off in the past, coming in from the left, I thought did pretty well. Added something extra.
Yeah. Just quickly, I'll just go to the live chat, and I'll ask you quickly about your standout performer on Tuesday night and your reasons why. Yeah, I'm just going to go to the live chat because we're getting a couple of donations here, and I think that's absolutely lovely. By Joanne Punch and Dave's obviously, she says Sean's a legend. Kev Flavin says even everybody. Trisha says spread the word out to subscribe. Try and get to 2,000 by Christmas. I'm sure we'll get to 2,000 by then. It's a work in progress. Hanny95 says, did he suit orange? I'm not sure what's happening there. But anyway, Joanne Punchin has donated $8.99. So that is, that's absolutely fantastic. So thanks to Joanne Punchin for that, $8.99. And also, Hanny95, $4.49. So honestly, all I can say is thanks to you guys for donating. It just goes towards the channel. So that's absolutely lovely. Much, much appreciated for that. John's also said he's always amazing. Annie, Jesus, I'm getting loads of compliments here. My heads are going to fit through the door when I go home. Anyway, 49 in the chat, please. Give us a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. Anyway, I'll just go to Alyssa first. Alyssa, I want you to stand-up performer on Tuesday night and your reasons why. Because there was plenty, but just one person who was the best player on the pitch and your reasons why.
If you follow my Twitter, cheeky plug there, but you've been saying I've been raving about Niall Huggins all week. Just the maturity on the ball, and I don't understand is he from Leeds? Leeds, I think he is. Yeah, Leeds let him go because honestly, he's just the way he controls himself on the ball, and he's very attacking minded, I think, and. It's like when he had the ball, it's like time stop. Like all the other players stopped. He was getting past them so easily, and he was an absolute joy to watch. Yeah, and I think it's the direction Lee Johnson really wants to go in, as I was saying, bringing in young players and having a really attacking football, entertaining football to watch. Finally, it's not like hoofball or you know what I mean. Parkinson football is just boring. So I was just so excited to watch him because obviously I feel like we haven't had a proper look at him to see what he can actually do, and I feel like that night he really proved himself because previous games maybe he looked a bit wobbly, but that night I think he really cemented himself, and I think he did really well. Obviously he's getting called up for Wales youth squad, so he must have something in him, and he's our player. He's not on a loan. He's our player. We're keeping him, and
brilliant.
It's really exciting to see how we might progress and fill a role this season and seasons to come, really. So I'd go for Niall Huggins. That's
a good shout. Really good shout, Alyssa. Very good shout. Anyway, Christian, your stand-up performer on Tuesday night and your reasons why.
09. Gonna get 09. He's it's frustrating because obviously he gets a lot of stick, and I'm going to create some sort of war or something going on here, because the minute you stand on one side of the 09 debate, you get the other lot going off at you. But no, I really like 09. He's he loves the club, and he gives it his all, and the amount of the amount of passion and that he showed the other week was unreal.
It was. I mean, he divides a lot of the fans' opinions on Twitter, but I think for me, he just consistently, he just works all the time. Do you know what I mean?
He can cross the ball, he can pass the ball, he can do all basic football right for me, and that's the way I see it. And he definitely showed that the other day.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. I mean, people say, he can't really do a job in the centre of midfield, but I'll tell you something now, the last few games he's been doing brilliant there, whether it be with Dan Neil or Corey Evans, he's done a job, and he got his goal the other night, and obviously Corey Evans obviously played the pass to him as well.
His assist.
It was brilliant to see. So it's a good shout.
He doesn't get tired either. He seems to have a lot of work rate, which is...
That's honestly, that's another thing I was saying to the lads sitting next to Paul and Anthony, the two lads sitting next, and I said, look, he just never looks tired. He's
like a steam train, yeah, exactly.
He's got some engine,
he's really good.
Engine, man. Anyway, Gary, your standout performer on Tuesday night, and your reasons why?
Well, just before I go on to Tuesday, I'll jump in with Christian and what he was saying about 09. He was my man of the match for the Bolton game last Saturday, because what was a really tough battle and we struggled to get the ball off them for long periods. He never stopped. He kept going. And this lad a couple of years ago looked a bit slight and weren't very sure he could mix it up a bit. He really got stuck into them. Their big number 6, I think he was. You know, he wasn't going to take any nonsense off him. I think the guy ended up getting a booking for getting in a tangle with 09. In the past, he's the sort of lad you would see sort of like on the outskirts of the team because he's a utility player.
Yeah.
But he's clearly determined to make the midfield spot his own. He's got the graft. He's getting a bit more experience. I think it's done him good to play in different positions. He'll keep improving. That's he's dependable. Like you said, he's got loads of energy, and he will keep improving. I mean, come on, he's got a great attitude.
Yeah.
Any manager would want that in his team. Sorry, I digressed then, but I wanted to jump on that as well. Easy answer for me, Tuesday. Broadhead. First time I've seen the lad properly, and I thought he was absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
I was saying about the setup that Johnson likes, the formation. I think he's been looking for a perfect number 10. I thought he cracked it with Embleton, but I think actually Broadhead looks even better still in that position. You've got movement, you've got touch. That little pass he plays into McGeady, I think it is.
Sublime. It was class.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic. And if we can get that lad signed up quick, let's do it, because he looks a fantastic prospect. And how many times in the past have we talked about having static strikers, not finding space, not moving, not looking for the ball, and that lad's got it all. So I'm totally enthused by him. It's just a disappointment he's injured.
And I'll come to that in a minute, Gary, because that was my next topic. I'll get your opinions on that. So disappointing, but anyway, my standard performer is, I'm with Gary on that one. It's Broadhead. It was just unbelievable. He's his energy, his visions. He played a part in I think 2 or 3 of the goals. How he didn't score. I was watching the game. I was thinking, please just get a goal. He deserved a goal. He did deserve a goal. And every time he got the ball close, I think there was the lead up to the 5th goal. The ball come across to him. He brought it down. The defender tackled, and that's when Diaco put it in the top corner. I was really wanting somebody to score so much. I want him to score, just to, you know what I mean, because he deserved it. He was brilliant, like he was. And look at. As I say, the next topic I was going to see will come down next, but he's my standing performer. And there was loads of them, to be fair, that all, you could see it was Huggins is brilliant, Corey Evans and O'Neill brilliant. I mean, the full team was great, but that was mine anyway. I'll just quote the live chat again. Kev Flavin says, the toughest test of the season tomorrow. Upon me, I would take a draw. The way we're playing, I would say we want to go down there and get all 3 points, because I think they haven't started very well, which I will come to in a minute. NBA Ballers has donated £2. I think, is he? Has he donated? I think he has. Yeah, he's donated £2. Yeah. Sean, it's James for you to buy a Coke tomorrow. Right. Anyway, like I say, the Broadhead injury. I'll come to you, Gavin, because you brought it up. I've written it down, but is that when playing so well? And he's just starting to find his feet now. And he was brilliant in the Wigan game and the Tuesday. He scored the goal. And he was brilliant. Obviously, like you see on the following Tuesday, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. Let's hope it's not too serious, Gary. This injury, what he's getting. Let's hope it's it's not too serious.
Yeah, I think they were speculating in the press conference, and Johnson said it could be between 2 weeks and 6 weeks. Let's just hope to God it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, the Oxford game's obviously been postponed now, hasn't it? So
I'll come with that. I'll come with that later.
He doesn't miss that. So that could be a blessing. Yeah, you want the lad, early in his career with Sunderland to get a run of games, get a few chances. So I'm bitterly disappointed if he is out for 6 weeks, but got me fingers crossed we're getting back sooner, as we have done with 1 or 2 other players. He's desperate to see him back in the team.
Yeah, Melissa, obviously Broadhead, brilliant on the night, and then picking up an injury. It's just put a bit of a dampener on it when I found out he could be out for 4 to 6 weeks. What's your views on that? It's not too long.
It's definitely a shame because he's been performing so well. I feel sorry for him because he's got this run of a few run of games under his belt where he's played really well, and now he might be out for 4-6 weeks, and there's nothing to what's the word? There's nothing to come from it because he's going to be injured and he might be back to square one. We don't know, but it's just thank God we have the squad depth we have because it's definitely unfortunate, but we have players like Embleton who can play, as you were saying, Sean, in that number 10 role, who maybe is probably on the same level, just as good. I love Embleton. I think he plays really well, plays the ball on the floor really well. So it's a shame he's got injured definitely, but we have other players to vacate that position, which is why squad depth is so important in this league. And I think we've probably got the best squad depth arguably in the league, and probably the best squad depth we've had in a while.
Good point, Alyssa. Christian, just a little bit of a sour note was obviously the Broadhead injury after he was absolutely brilliant Tuesday night. What's your views on that? Hopefully it's not too long.
I think I saw Acacia in the chat say that it was a 2 to 6 week injury. I think we got an update about it. I'm really up. Was it 4 to 6? Was it?
Yeah.
I hope it's on the shorter end of that scale because we really need him. Like you've all nailed it. Really, he's just such a key player, and he can command his sort of space around him, and he obviously he can pass the ball well and really sort of give it a good attack and play in that. So it is a sour note, like you say, because especially when he's been playing so well, like Alyssa said, you need to give him a good run of games, so that the fluidity and his sort of game style comes out.
Yeah.
Whether he's going to be like a playmaker or whether he's going to be more like, you know what I mean? It is tough. It's tough.
Just going to the next topic as well. I mean, for me, what I thought was good about Tuesday night, I did get told. Me and Matthew got told about the teams a day prior, and it was right the team actually, but I did also get told that it was going to be a 4-4-2. I was thinking, that look, I'll be happy with that. When you're seeing the teams, you're seeing the setup, you say it was a 4-4-2, and as I was talking before I went live to Lisa and Christian, I want your thoughts on obviously that's been our formation, the 4-2-3-1, but I think it's good to be versatile and adapt to a different formation. Like, not being disrespectful to Cheltenham, you will get teams where you think, oh, we can have a go at these and we can try and get some goals. I think maybe Lee Johnson has done that and thought, look, and make a few changes. We'll go 4-4-2 and appeared off. You know what I mean? It was. I'll just come. Alyssa, I'll go to you first. What's your feelings on the system on Tuesday night, the 4-4-2 instead of the 4-2-3-1?
Obviously, it's the classic formation, isn't it? But it worked well, definitely in our favour. I do love having two strikers at the front, so when it's like one at the front, they can get a bit isolated. But I think it really worked in our favour. We really played well, and it shows that we can be versatile, and maybe changing up the position every now and then isn't a bad thing. It makes us unpredictable. If we play at the same position every week where we have the same tactics, people are going to figure us out really quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's good to be constantly changing, constantly be versatile. And then I think that's what's going to win us games, being unpredictable, because if we start to get too comfortable and people are going to find us out, then it's going to be easy for people to win games against us. So I think it's very important that we do have that change and versatility to make it so we can last throughout the whole season. We don't want to have, as we were saying, we're notoriously known for doing quite well at the start of the season, these past few seasons, and then tailing off, or a setback happens, like for example Portsmouth in the Czech Trade Trophy lost that, tailed off. We don't want that to happen. We want us to be quite consistent, and hopefully that's going to last throughout the season.
Yeah, that's great points there, Alyssa. Very good points. Gary, your views on obviously the change of system Tuesday night as well. I think, as Alyssa's just pointing out there, you don't want to be so predictable. If you can change, mix it up, confuse other teams, or what's someone going to play today, it's a good thing to have. And like you say, we've done the 4-4-2 and it worked wonders on Tuesday night. What was your thoughts on the system change on Tuesday?
Yeah, it's a good point. When I looked at it, I thought it was a 4-2-4. I thought he's really going for it here. I think the key thing for me is he plays his system on the basis he can quite easily change it without too much tinkering, shall we say. So actually, if he brings his wingers back and expect his number 10 to step up. It's not a massive change. It's just asking those players to do a slightly different role.
Yeah.
So I mean, clearly no expert, but he's still got his back four that remains unchanged. He's still got his two defensive midfielders. I think what's quite good about it is it's asking a bit more from your strikers to try something different.
Yeah,
and we've all seen him swap players on wings. So sometimes, obviously, we've got McGeady playing on the right wing at the moment, and we've seen him interchange with Gooch in the past. So I think it gives us a bit of fluidity. I think it gives us a bit of like Alyssa was saying, something a bit different and unpredictable. The word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I'm a bit wary about, it's that I think footballers sometimes prefer the familiar.
Mm-hmm.
They prefer to,
of course, yeah,
to over a longer period play in the same position.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The lads might be quite good with it, but I'm thinking about Embleton and Pritchard last Saturday. To me, you can't play both of them at the same time. One of them's supposed to be on the wing. One of them's supposed to be number 10.
Yep.
I never got the feeling that it settled throughout the game.
Yeah, I think. I think what happened there was as well. Embleton's done brilliant in the number 10. Well, I think he put Pritchard in there, and I think Pritchard was very wasteful. I thought on Saturday against Bolton, I thought it was really wasteful. But like you see, it's Embleton. I prefer him as the number 10. Like I think he started the season well. I think he could be huge for us this season. Like Gary, to be perfectly honest.
Absolutely agree.
Anyway, I'll just go to the live chat. For company you, Christian. Joanne Punch says, come on, thumbs up for the guys. Let's get them with 50 likes. I'm not sure how many we've got at the moment. But yeah, try and get us to 50 or even 100 would be even better. Colin Roberts says, change the system work well and shows we can adapt to suit the opposition way of playing. Good point, Colin. Christian, the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-4, as Gary thinks it might have been on Tuesday.
It looked like that at one point, didn't it?
I think I know what you mean. Obviously, the focus in the middle. I understand what you mean in that respect, but yeah, it looked like a 4-4-2, but then it could have changed to 4-2-4. Christian, what was your views on the change of system on Tuesday night?
I'm always an advocate of 4-4-2. I've like throughout whenever I've watched football and I've looked at different teams, like seeing them play 4-4-2 and succeed like Leicester did. I mean, I know we're now going into Premier League, but when you saw how Leicester played, it was just basic, simple football, and they managed to win the league with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you can get the right players to play 4-4-2, like we have now, to be honest, in my opinion, we have a very versatile squad who can play. Several players can play in them, just like that one position, and not have to think too much about different things. Just playing simple football, and if you play it right, like we did the other day, it produces results. So I'm a massive advocate of just having a flat 4, a flat 4, and a flat 2 up front.
That's your formation now.
Passionate about the 4-4-2.
And our football's changed, though. I mean, back in the 90s, you see when Gary was saying when Peter Reid was the manager, football it changes all the time. And I think 4-4-2 was everybody's formation back then. And then it just changes all the time, doesn't it, Gary? It's football evolves, it changes, and managers, But like you say, you kind of break a good 4-4-2, like you just said.
I think it was the continental football, wasn't it, that started to mess about, tinker about with like 5 at the back and stuff like that, and then eventually it sort of grew over to this side of like out of the pond, so to speak.
Sometimes there's almost like a fashion element. People look at certain teams and they'll say, "Oh, they're playing a man directly." This thing about defensive midfielder. Or they're playing somebody directly in front of the back four, and then other teams will try it. So I think there's a bit of that. It's what's in vogue at the time, but if it works for certain teams, you're just going to keep doing it. Sorry, Sean, just before you go off the formation, one of the reasons he might have changed it, and I'm just saying this off the top of my head, is we clearly struggled at times to hold the ball against Bolton. What struck me about Tuesday night is the amount of time we were knocking the ball over. So, on Saturday, Doyle in particular was getting pressed quite a lot by Bolton.
He was, yeah.
We couldn't really play through them. While on Tuesday night, clearly we had Broadhead making lots of runs, and both from the wings and from the middle, we were knocking it over the top for him to run onto.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the change. That was deliberate to give us the chance to use his pace.
Yeah, it just seemed like on the Bolton game, like people saying, "Oh, Bolton's the best side we've played at." I'm not too sure. I think we just sort of got that goal, and then we just sat off. But then people saying, "Well, Bolton they did well by keeping it and putting the pressure on us and this, that, and the other." But I don't know. It's just a couple of things where with Lee Johnson, where we're just sometimes, is it the players or is it him, where we'll get that goal and just try to see games out. And I think it's just risky sometimes, Gary, you know. And look, thankfully
and the amazing thing is, the other day we learned from the Bolton game, and we actually just killed them off, which was excellent, wasn't it? So
yeah. But anyway, let's go to the live chat, and I think it's I'm up to date with the comments, I think, so that's good. I just want to get your views. Obviously, it's 9 games in, 22 points, top of the table, plus 11. We're top by 3 points. It's a dream start. Christian, what's your thoughts on Sunderland's start of the season? Just quickly, just sum it up and how are you feeling about it?
Without going on a tangent and worshipping Lee Johnson, I think it has been an excellent start, and I think he has had a lot to do with it. He's learned from last season, and like I said at the start of the stream, he's got his side now, and he can just tinker about with it and hopefully lead us to glory, in my opinion. It's been absolutely excellent.
What marks would you give it out of 10? The start of the season Sunderland's had?
Solid 9 out of 10.
That's mine. Alyssa, how would you the start of the season's been a great start, hasn't it? Apart the Burton game where we should have gotten something, we'll be undefeated really, but I mean we're robbed with the goal as well. Flanagan scored. It was, the replay showed he was level, I think, but it's gone now. But like you see, sum up the start of the season. It's been a brilliant start, hasn't it?
It has definitely. I mean, I don't think you could have asked for much better, really, to be honest. Burton have always been a bit of a thorn in our sides anyway. But I think obviously Lee Johnson's the face of it all, but I think you need to obviously think about the backroom staff and all the other people working behind the scenes to get, obviously, from the physios to get the players into tip-top condition, from your Stuart Harvey doing the recruitment and all that, obviously Christian Speakman. But the only thing I can say is I hope it continues. I hope it isn't we don't tail off after Christmas. I think that'd be an absolute shame, and I just hope we can keep the momentum going. I know we're playing a lot of press and football. My only concern is if the players maybe start to burn out. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but as again we could do with the squad depth, a lot of squad rotation, hopefully you'll prevent that from happening. So yeah, really good.
What would you give for the start out of 10, Alyssa?
9.5, because there's always room for improvement.
I like your style, Gary. It's been a great start. I'm just being picky with the Burton game, but we should have get something out of that game. I mean, 2 glorious chances, then the disallowed goal. Look, it's gone that though. I'm not going to be critical of the team because they've done brilliant. But how would you sum up the start of the season, and what would you rate it out of 10?
I'm absolutely delighted. Couldn't have wished for much better. I mean, obviously the games we've dropped points. We dominated Burton for long periods. We certainly should have beaten Fleetwood. If it wasn't for that, it's near enough 100% record. So
I know.
Exactly. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember coming on Fans React when we hadn't really signed anybody apart from Evans and maybe 1 or 2 others, and we were worried about the depth in the squad. And then all of a sudden he started bringing in players who all look the part.
Yeah.
Quality. So to go from there to there in 6-7 weeks, something like
that? Yeah.
Brilliant. And as for the score, I think Elisa summed it up. And so I'll go 9. I can't say any better than that. 9.5 with room. Small amount of room for improvement.
Right. I'm just going to go around just all again, just quickly, and I'll get the live chat. Christian, who's been your player of the season so far and why?
Is there a harder question in football at the minute? So far, I'd say Embleton. Like I said, obviously I got mixed up because he played so well in the Bolton game as well. But he honestly has. He's really impressed me how he's come on. Obviously, the fact that he's came through as well. It's not like someone we've just signed,
Yeah,
it makes for a great story in my opinion. But it's between him and O'Nien, and I'm going to go with Embleton.
Good choice. Good choice.
Right.
Alyssa, your play of the season so far and your reasons why?
I feel like it has to be between Ross Stewart or Dan Neil. Ross Stewart being the obvious one. Obviously, lots of goals. Hope it continues. Plays so much better than White. Can I just say he's more mobile, more pacey. He's better with his feet. He's just like a million times better than White ever was. He can do what White can do and more. And Dan Neil just, it's like a new signing, like some of the youngsters coming in, you know what I mean? It's like he brings so much creativity and flair, and something we were probably really missing. Like he plays quite direct football, and you know he's going to get the ball and he's going to make use of it. He's not going to waste it. And obviously when he scored his goal, you could see that meant a lot to when we went to the stand where we used to sit in as a kid. And I think being a local lad sometimes as well, I think it means a lot more to them. Obviously, if they're a supporter of the club all their lives, they've came through the academy, they have a real attachment to the club already without having to experience the fan base or whatever, because they've already been through all that. And it's just so nice to see so many academy graduates coming through and getting that opportunity, because it really does represent, I feel like, us as fans on the pitch. It's every like little boy, little girl's dream to play for the hometown club, and I think it's great to see somebody living that out, and it really inspires the younger generation. And I think getting younger fans to enjoy Sunderland is so important now, obviously. Maybe not playing the best football that we were like 5-6 years ago in the Premier League, but I think it's really important that youngsters see that, so we can keep getting the younger generation into the club and making lifelong Sunderland supporters. So yeah.
Well said again, Alyssa. Casual observer, John Corthett will struggle to get back in the team now. Out there. EDG, the recruitment team. Mickey Wiki SCFC says O'Brien play of the season so far. That's a bit of I don't think many people will see that, but David McMahon says season so far. Tom Flanagan. That's actually one of them.
It's a good shout and all that.
I was going to say him now, but anyway, Gary, your play of the season so far, and your reasons why, mate?
The only name who I'm not going to go for him, but the only name who hasn't been mentioned and should be is Carl Winchester, who's been absolutely
Winchester.
Right back.
There's a show.
If anybody said him, you'd get no argument for me. Like Elisa, I've got this thing, Dan Neil, because he's a local lad, and he just looks. Some of his touches have been absolutely sublime. The goal he scored, I think it was against Wickham, wasn't it? Fantastic, and he clearly enjoys it even more because he's one of the lads, basically. But I'd have to say Ross Stewart. He's playing up there on his own, and he's surprised me, because when he first came in, he played a couple of games, and I really wasn't sure. We were playing him alongside Wyke. Maybe they were getting in each other's way a little bit. I wasn't convinced by the lad at all. But the biggest compliment I can give Ross Stewart right now is he reminds me of Quinny. And I don't just mean that because of his balls in the air.
Yeah.
I mean because of his touch and laying the balls off sometimes. I think he's been excellent. He's running box. He's really making a name for himself. So I would have to say Ross Stewart, because I was really worried about us starting without more depth up front.
Yeah.
But we've got a lad there who will be amongst the top scorers this season, and he's infinitely better than Charlie White.
Good point. Good point. I mean, just going off like what Christian said, he picked Embleton and O'Nien, and I think Alyssa picked Dan Neil, or it was the one. What was it? Ross Stewart. So I was thinking. I'm thinking for me. You would see Ross Stewart. I mean, he's been brilliant. He scored, 7 goals out of 9 in the league. He's definitely proven me wrong. And I mean, I seen him last season. I'm going, Jesus, I've got totally wrong. I'll be honest. I'm just thinking, what's he actually going to bring next season? But he's just, I don't know if he's just totally changed his game, and he just need that little bit of pre-season. But he's been outstanding. But I'm just going to pick somebody different to what all you just said. I was going to go with Winchester as well, but I'm going to go with Flanagan. The reason being, I think when you've got a back four as young as, I think the average age of our back four is about 20, was it 21, 22 or something? I can't remember. don't thingy on that one, but
23 and a half, I think.
When you've got Certain, who's a young lad, you've got Callum Doyle's a young lad, Winchester youngish. You need somebody at the back. And I mean, Flanagan, he's had a lot of critics over, last couple of seasons, but he's come in and he's been brilliant. He's organised the back four. You need somebody who's a bit experienced as well with a wise head. And I think he's learned the youngsters how to sort of, defend basically and just be talking to each other and be organised. I think you need that. You need somebody, experienced head at the back. And I think so. I'm going to go with Flanagan. I think Lee Johnson must rate him as well because he took him off in the 56th minute, I think. And I was thinking, why? It just goes to show that he's keeping him fresh for the Pompey game on Saturday. So there's been loads, hasn't there? I mean, Winchester's played at right back and he's keeping Huggins out. Effectively, the reason that Huggins has come in is because Certain got that knocked to the head. But Huggins can play left or right. But it's a great feeling at the moment to be a Sunderland supporter and long may it continue. Like it's absolutely brilliant. But anyway, on the live chat, Ben Allison says Patterson. I think he's just taking the mickey there. I think Callum Doyle, he's saying Bradley Young says Carl Winchester, absolutely brilliant player for me. He's been brilliant, Bradley. You're right. Anyway, just while on the Ross Stewart subject, I think I've talked about this before, but me included, I've said that Ross Stewart will not get 30 goals this season, yeah, but he's got 7 in 9, and I mean, would you say we'll create loads of goals for him? I mean, can he get 30 goals? Gary, I mean, I'll come with you first. He started the season so well. He's got loads to his game. He works his backside off. He runs everywhere. He's just, he seems like a complete striker. He's finishing, don't get us wrong. Some of his goals have been tap-ins, but you've got to be in them places to get the tap-ins, yeah? And like you see, Charlie White would score one type of goal. Ross Stewart's scoring different types of goals, and he brings more to your team. He holds the ball and he brings more players in. Gary, I'll start with you. Can Ross Stewart get 30 plus goals this season?
I hesitate to say yes because they've started such a long season. Injuries are almost inevitable. A loss of form is almost inevitable. There will be patch. We're really reliant on him. And I actually don't want him to have that kind of pressure. I think if you like the right answer to give, the political answer to give is I don't care as long as we get goals from other places. The problem with last season is White got 30.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
we
struggled, didn't we? There wasn't too many keeping anywhere close to him. The goals weren't really going from anybody else, apart from McGeady and some of them were penalties. Mm-hmm. Stewart's a better all-round player. He's bringing other people into the game. So let's say he gets 20, but we end up with Broadhead and McGeady and the midfielders chipping in as well. We'll be far better off if that happens. So White's conversion rate, I don't know what it was, but it was really, really good. White inevitably scored when he was given a chance in the box. Yeah. He was limited. He was one type of player. Is somebody throwing things at the camera there?
Got a home intruder, isn't she?
As I mentioned, Charlie White.
Really?
You don't No peace for the wicked.
I was keeping me laughing there, Gary. Now you're talking, I was saying I don't want to laugh.
Argue with me. I've had this before. It was Matthew's dad came to argue with me last time. Now it's Alyssa's brother.
Do you have anything to say?
No.
Go on then.
I said no.
All right, he has nothing to say. Who's your favourite player this season? Who you going
Doyle.
with? He's going with Callum Doyle.
Good shout. Good shout, lad.
Go on then. See you later.
And I'm just saying your door can't shut properly, so sorry.
Okay, bye.
The joy of life.
Newest member of Fan React after me.
Bradley Young just asked in the live chat, is the quiz on tonight? Unfortunately, it's not. We didn't have enough time to sort one out because I think Graham and Matthew normally sort it out. But I think Joanne's husband Dave he done a 10 quiz question, and I just don't know how to do it. So unfortunately, not be a quiz. But I'll try and for the next time, I'll try and if Matthew's unavailable, I'll try and make sure we'll get a quiz, and even if I've got to do it, and I get to see if like Dave can do the quiz, I'll hopefully I can do it.
I made one today and ping you over, Sean, if you need it. It's a 20-question quiz. 10 of them are Sunderland, and then the other 10 are general knowledge. So
now I can't get it on the screen though, so it'll be
save it for another time. Just looking at the time, I think.
I just mean for another stream. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's not enough time today, but aye,
nice one. We'll like to see. We'll try and do that for next time. Anyway, moving on. Alyssa, I think I've asked you, haven't I, about the Ross Stewart. Oh no, I haven't. Ross Stewart, can he get 30 goals this season? Alyssa, it's a big ask, but look, he started really well. I think he's got a chance. I'm actually changing my mind now. I'm thinking he could. He's definitely going to get in the 20s, I think now.
Yeah, my brother came in before he glasses that, but right. I mean, it's a goal for him. I'd much rather him get like 20, and then, as Gary was saying, maybe goals contribute from other places. I don't want him to feel like he's relied on. I think if the whole squad can contribute, I think it's a better option. There's not as much pressure on one player. So I mean, if he wants to go and get 30 goals, I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. You know what I mean? Like it's mint. I'd be buzzing, but like. I was gonna say 20. I think it's a good like marker, and then anything over that for me is a job well done.
Like as Gary says earlier on, he knocked the nail on the head as he always does. Like you see, I've got 3 great people with us tonight who speak a lot of sense in football, so it's always a help. But Gary just said there, like you see, I love when Gary speaks. I listen to him all night, in fact. But when he I could
saying that.
But he's piping that doesn't see that. But no, but like you see, it's good that we're this season we're getting other people. I mean, Winchester at right back, he's chipping in with goals. O'Neill, I think O'Nine's going to pop up a few goals this season if you can just get other people to score goals. I mean, when Diaco comes in, he's off the mark now. Could he get chipping with some goals? Once McGeady starts getting in the flow, I mean, he's got that quality still. McGeady, he's sure the kids how it's done, and he could get some goals. Broadhead, if he gets to run the team, he could get the goals as well. But I think it's quite possible he can get 30 goals. But there's, as you just said, I think it's more important that other players chip in and get us goals. But I think that was the problem last season. I think the second highest goals score was something like 5. I think it was Ledbetter. I think I could be wrong. I'm sure it was around about that. But anyway, Christian, do you think Ross Stewart can hit 30 goals, or do you not think it's not really important?
I'm gonna make a dangerous precedent and set a prediction on the stream. 25. That's how many I think he'll get. I'm going to stick to 25.
It'll get clipped, put on Twitter.
Oh yeah. Gone viral.
Rock will be happy.
Well, I've made me bed, so 25.
Just go to the live chat, just quickly, just to make sure I get everybody involved. Paul and Matthews, I think it's probably Paul. He's at work on night shift, so hi to Paul. 7 likes need to reach our target of 50. So please, hit the thumbs up if you could. Joanne Punch said, "That's great, Christine. You and DP can do you can be the quiz masters." Well, there's a one. You can do 1 week, you do one, and Dave can do the 1 week after. Because Dave knows his stuff. Very knowledgeable. I can't even get that word out. Anyway, 95. Defo, Chris, are you in bed? I think Chris says Chris got his no quiz disgrace. Not my fault, Chris. Not my fault. Colin Major, be careful, Gary. He will want to marry you next. Laughing out loud. I think he's on about me. Bigging you up, mate. Lewis, I'm not reading that comment out anyway. Sean, you're going down to Portsmouth. Unfortunately, no, I'm not going to Pompey. I'm gutted because I wanted to go. I was wanting to drive down and back, but I just couldn't get the people to go with. And I think I said to Matthew and Paul as well, on the away games, I need a camera person. And, even though I've got my stuff on a tripod, you need somebody still stand there watching it. Like I've done it down Wigan, and you watched the interviews in Wigan, there was these little kids just playing up, and it's not worth the risk. So, I I'm gutted because I really wanted to go. And I would have drove there and back. It's a long journey, but I was wanting to do it. But unfortunately, I'm not going down. But I might go. I don't know. I might go to the town centre and interview some fans. I don't know. I might just have a shift off, and But I'm gutted. But there you go. Anyway, moving on because we've probably got about 10 minutes left. I don't know if you've noticed, but there was another incident in the away end on Saturday again. There was a flare thrown down. And this has happened quite a few times now. The Coventry have done it, and Portsmouth have done it, and I think there's a couple of other teams have done it. For me, I'm not one for moving the supporters because I just think it's good for them to be there. But I've mentioned this in previous Fans React Fridays as well. I think the club need to do something about this. There's kids sitting below there, and it's a matter of time before somebody gets hurt off a flare or a missile of a coin. What's your views on that? I'll start with you, Gary. Do you think the club need to maybe put something, in front of the away supporters, like a net or something? It's happening too much now, Gary. And like it's going to be a matter of time before somebody gets hurt, seriously hurt as well.
Yeah, I agree. You should never put the away fans behind the home fans in that kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
When I've been watching football for a lot of years, and it always leads to bother. If you've got the home fans up top and the away fans, for people who remember going to places like Goodison Park in the 80s, the old away end, you're down the bottom, the seats are up above and it's home fans, and there was all sorts of stuff raining down on you frequently. Happened at Coventry as well, I remember.
Yeah.
It's a disaster waiting to happen. It's okay, no disrespect to Cheltenham, but with the 100 fans or whatever. But when you've got a fairly big travelling following like Bolton and Portsmouth and Coventry, then particularly if there's been a bit of needle, it only takes one idiot.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You've got problems.
Exactly.
I would never have moved them. I would have kept them where they were. I don't understand why we moved them. I presume, we've decided they can have less impact on the game by shifting them up there, but I don't like it. It's never felt right to me. So no, in the meantime, they need to put some netting up. Yeah,
absolutely. I see. It's. I think. Well, Martin O'Neill done this. I think it was one of the games in 2012 with Everton in the replay at the Stadium Light when the Everton fans were behind the goal. He said the noise they made give them a massive advantage, and I agree with him. But you could put them in one of the corners, but I just think look at it. If there's going to be an atmosphere in the stadium, there'll be an atmosphere, and just keep them there, but just put a safety guard there, and do you know what I mean? That's all you got to do, and it just cuts out the middleman straight away. Stuff, if the fourth things, it's not going to hit the people below. What's your views, Christian, about the? One thing I will say as well, the Bolton fans were brilliant. You're going to get good and bad if every supporters will come up. You're going to get good support. You're going to get a little minority who's, as Gary says, they've been drinking all day and they will act themselves. But most of the Bolton fans were absolutely brilliant supporters. I was talking to a lot of them, and it's going to happen. But Christian, what's your views on that? What do you think the club should do with this missile carry on and the coin throwing and things?
It's a tough one. Specifically, the coin throwing and bottles and stuff. That's the worst because you cannot really enforce that. Like with pyrotechnics, the flares and that, you could probably take them off them before they get into the stadium. Like I don't know if you can get dogs that can sniff out the whatever's inside them or whatever.
They do.
I was going to say they have dogs, don't they?
If they're
not very good.
They get searched. I always walk past them and I always do.
It's a shame that they didn't pick them all up then, because somehow they're getting them in. Like you say, maybe it is time to rejig the stadium a bit and put the away fans. I know a lot of South Stand fans are not like this take, but putting them back in the South Stand, then reviving the crazy corner or something, so there's a get mad atmosphere around that side of the stadium again, like there was years ago. Or a net, like you say, I'm happy we're like a clear net, like some sort of net that isn't like obvious. But it does stop stuff coming down. Like the people below that stand need protecting like this, because the Luton fans have done it. The Portsmouth fans have done it. Like you said, it's happening too much, and someone's going to get hurt.
It's getting ridiculous, and I think I'm quite surprised that the club haven't done something by now. It's as if they're just letting it just happen and like I say, fingers crossed that nobody gets seriously hurt and they do put something into place. Just quickly go to the live chat. Morgan Greer said if you've decided to do interviews in the tent more, Sean, I'm happy to help out. Joseph Billingsley says, are you doing a live stream on your channel tomorrow or this channel? I don't think it's like to see it. It's probably just too short notice. I was thinking of doing a live watch along, but I don't know. It's just one of them. I'm maybe just going to just have a day off. But anyway, Alyssa, what you feeling on the away supporters and there's still the ongoing thing with the flares and the coins?
I mean, it's been happening for a while now. I know when the Don was in charge, he said he was going to get it up. Obviously, it's never happened. I do think it's a bit unfair on supporters who do come in the sensible and enjoy the game, because obviously that does. Obviously depends what kind of net it is, but it does affect your view of the game, I guess. But as Christian was saying, with things like coins, you can't really enforce it because the coins, like people need them. I know the stadium's cashless now, like, but still, you know what I mean. They're not classed as a weapon, so maybe moving the away supporters down. I'm not too sure what the solution is, to be honest. It's like that's something for the club to sort out, you know what I mean? But just it needs to be a stop. I mean, I was outside the Bolton game and kind of the cut that goes like alongside the river and alongside the beacon. I was where the like away supporters coaches that usually park. I was coming out of there and I was trying to find my mum. And I got caught in like this. There was like a fight outside between the Bolton fans and the Sunderland fans, and the police had to pull people back. And that I got caught up a bit in that. Like, but I wasn't fighting, for clarification. I was wrong place, wrong time. But I don't look that intimidating. But like, it should be enforced more in terms of policing. Maybe I don't know. It's just something needs to be sorted.
Yeah, exactly. It does, and. It's went on too long. This for me, I'm surprised they haven't done it. But whether or not they move the fans back down, I don't know. I mean, I think
there should be massive sanctions. Like I think what Colin Roberts said in the chat there, reduce the away following for clubs that do these things. I completely agree with that. There should be some sort of like sanction that makes people think twice about doing stuff like this. But I don't know.
If there were, I used to watch it years ago. And you'd say, like, behind the goal in the south stand, all the red seats, all the empty seats. And they say it doesn't look good. Not doesn't look good, but the safety of the supporters is paramount, yeah? That's just no question. I mean, I'm in the northwest, like the northwest corner, but that probably would be the best place to, if we're going to bring them back down, just put them in the northwest corner. But then that means I'm going to have to move, so I wouldn't be happy about that. But I still think the away fans should stay up there. I just think we just need to put something into place in there. And then just cut the middleman out, like as we say. But anyway, moving on because time is getting on. Coming to me the last topic. Our next game, which is tomorrow, like you see at Fratton Park, Portsmouth. We haven't got a great workload down there, but we did win our last game there. I was checking this earlier on, and I think it was 2-0. It was the last game, I think. Last time I played them, I was Jordan Jones and who was the other goal scorer? It was a Charlie White, I think, with the header. So it was a good day that day. I think that might have been Kenny Jack's last game, I think. But look, it was a good win. But it's still, Portsmouth away is always a hard game. I think we sold out our allocation, so respect to all the Sunderland fans what's going down there tomorrow. I wish I was going, but fortunately I'm not. Alyssa, what's your views on the game tomorrow? Danny Kelly hasn't started very good for Portsmouth, but it will be a tough game. We'll have to be on our game if we want to get all the 3 points. So how do you think tomorrow's going to pan out?
As like Portsmouth, as you were saying, Danny Cowley has had a great start. The 13th in the league, and I think it's like in the last 5 games they've lost 3 and drawn 2, which obviously for Portsmouth that's not an ideal start at all. They're usually quite a prominent team in this league anyway. But as well, they kind of have like a lot of injuries, like the captain's been injured long term. So maybe not having that leadership's really knocked them a bit, maybe. But as you were saying, Fratton Park is such an intimidating place to play it, and you never know what's going to happen. Like, you can't predict these things, and there's always a bit of history there with Portsmouth, I guess, if you want to call it that. But I was looking at it, I think it was like in Fratton Park, Sunderland have played 55 games at Fratton Park and only won 12. So the odds are a bit, but you know what I mean. We've done it before. Hopefully we can get a good win, especially if we can catch them when they're not on form. Maybe that can maybe help us later on in the season if we play against them. Maybe if we win and then maybe get a draw later when they come here at home. Because obviously you do need to be careful because they are still a good side. They do have good players, like for example. They have a goalkeeper on loan from Man City under 23s. He's been playing quite regularly. I think his name's like Bazunu. I don't know, but he's fantastic. He plays for he's 19, I think, and he plays for Ireland. And he was in the news, like I'm sure, like a couple of weeks ago, he saved a Ronaldo penalty in the World Cup qualifiers. So maybe quite a prominent player for them. But then obviously you've got like your Ronan Curtis, who's just an absolute pain. We don't like him at all in my house. And then you've got your Marcus, who's obviously quite a prominent goal scorer in League One anyway. So they have got, even though they're not playing well, they have got some really like strong players for this division. So I don't think we should underestimate them at all. And obviously, as I was saying, with that history, I don't think we can, and I don't think we will. But it would be nice to get a win just to keep the momentum going, really.
Yeah, putting you on the spot because it's going to be, 2 weeks before because the Oxford game's getting postponed. I didn't actually mention that for the call-ups. That got postponed, didn't it? Because the call-up Doyle, Certain, Huggins, Flanagan, Evans, and possibly Winchester. So we're not going to have we've got a game in the Football League Trophy on Tuesday, but we're not going to have a league game for a fortnight. But we have done that before. We've come back and we've won. So let's just hope we can do that again. But Alyssa, putting you on the spot, what's the score going to be tomorrow?
I think it's going to be quite a tight game, as always, when we play Portsmouth. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Sunderland win.
Well said. Scorers?
Who's going to score? Daniel and I'm going to have one like someone quite like a wild card. I think I said Tom Flanagan the other week as well, so I'm going to go with Tom Flanagan.
Yeah, right. Thanks for that, Alyssa. I think somebody just said there, what an exceptionally well-spoken young lady. Yes, Alyssa is absolutely brilliant, absolutely unbelievable. That's why I love when her and Gary is on, and like you say, we've got Christine now as well. It's fans react is a great team, and I'm glad to be part of it. It's great of the future. Anyway, Gary, your feelings on tomorrow's game? Portsmouth is going to be a tricky encounter, but we're playing well. They're not playing too well. Can we pick up the 3 points?
On form, we should. Portsmouth fans have said to me that it's a definite away win, but I don't believe that. We've not got a great record down there. If you're Danny Cowley right now, this is your chance to kickstart your season, isn't it? I think they won the first 3. They've been on a crap run. This is his chance to get his players, getting his players' heads, getting them playing against a team who've made a great start. Tough pitch, tough atmosphere. Somebody said on the chat earlier, settle for a draw. I'm exactly the same, and I'll go for 2-2. But the other thing I'll say is I was just trying to work out how many away games we've got coming up between now and the end of November.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but I think we've only got 2 home games out of the next 9. So we've got a big run of away games coming up, and some really tough ones like Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, Gillingham. We might look back on a point tomorrow as okay if it keeps us, particularly if it keeps us at the top.
Yeah, well, as you've just said, we've got quite a lot of games coming up away from home. Our home form has been, unbelievable. 6 wins out of 6. You couldn't ask for a better start than that at home. But the next few games is going to be pivotal, really, and let's see how far we've come because we've got some tricky games as well, Gary. As you said, so let's just hope the away form and we can continue with the home form and it's a tough game tomorrow for me, but I think the way we're playing, the way they're playing, I fancy our chances to get the 3 points. But is it a negative thought saying, we'll take a draw? I don't think it is. I think, as you've said, I think they were tough side at home, and a lot of Sunderland fans will say, well, we shouldn't be thinking that way. But if we were to get I want to win the game, obviously, like we all do. But if we were to get a draw, it's not the end of the world, because there's a lot of teams will go to there this season and get beat. But they haven't started very well, so I think we've just got to try and capitalise on their poor start. You could say, Gary. So anyway, Christian, your thoughts on the game tomorrow? You think we can get all the 3 points?
It's going to be a weird fixture in a way, because, like you say, I think after once Alyssa said that how many times we haven't actually won at against Portsmouth. Now, if we want to beat them and start getting a record back against them, now is the time. Now that they're like 14th in the league or something daft, in it, is it 14th or 12th or something?
Yeah,
now is the time. 13, nearly. But yeah, so this is the time to play them. This is the time where I think we should be beating them. But like you say, I would take a draw as well, but I think we should be beating them. We need to kick on our run of games as well, you know what I mean, and get some consistency. Try and get some players bedded in as well. Maybe some of our squad depth, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think 2-1 victory as well to us.
Just about ask you the scores, so 2-1. So Gary's saying 2-2, you're saying 2-1. Alyssa's saying 2-1, and I'm going to go. So
we even it up 2-2.
I'm going to. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Sunderland. Ross Stewart to get 2, and McGeady 3-1 victory. I just hope that it'll be great to win tomorrow. And I mean, like you say, we'll start the season fantastic, but it's going to be a tough game, and it's really well. And like you say, their supporters, it's close to the pitch as well. It's an intimidating ground at times. It can be Fratton Park, but fingers crossed we can get the 3 points. Let's go to the live chat. I think we're just about finished. I think we've got 49 likes, as Joanne Puncher says. Alyssa Rowell says, so excited for the England match. Tickets all booked. When's the England game? Is that next Friday?
England ladies coming to the Stadium of Light on the 27th of November. So we've got all our tickets booked.
That'll be a good match, that.
It's the same day as Cambridge away, which is a bit but honestly, I'm so excited. It's like women's football is like my roots. It's how I first got into football. So them coming to the Stadium Light's quite special for me. So I'm really excited about it.
It's really gaining traction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially,
yeah.
As a true.
Well, I think that's just about wraps everything up. I've getting through all the topics. Quite surprisingly, but we've been rambling on for about an hour and 15. Well, Gary coming a little bit late, but we'll let him off because he speaks so well. But thanks for everybody who's tuned in tonight. And that's a Friday night, and a lot of people are out on the drink and maybe still at work or whatever. But we really appreciate all the support, especially using the live chat. And thanks to Joanne Puncher and I think Honey95 who contributed in the live chat. That donated. And I think it was somebody else. Was it MBA? I forgot his name, but there was 3 people who have donated. So thanks to you as well. Don't forget to tune into the Macklem Monday on Monday, obviously, and obviously I'll be at the match tomorrow, so I'm devastated. But that wraps it up. Thanks from myself, Sean Middleton, from Melissa Rowell, Gary, and Christian. Hopefully, we're celebrating 3 points tomorrow at tea time. Bye for now. Stay safe.
See you later.